they do this dance, and Mark Antony's like, go, put your hands on your mother's hips.
All right, guys, the Beckham family drama continues to escalate after firstborn son Brooklyn Beckham blasted his famous parents, David and Victoria, in a long and emotional Instagram message.
I try to teach my kids, but, you have to sometimes let them make those mistakes.
Brooklyn Beckham's statement about what happened at his wedding just revealed something Victoria and David probably weren't expecting. Victoria's inappropriate dance with her son and the things she did with him on stage in front of everyone are being exposed. And some think it wasn't just her son that Victoria was making uncomfortable. In this video, we're going to look at exactly what happened at Brooklyn Beckham's wedding and the real reason he decided to step away from his family forever.
On January 19th, Brooklyn shared a lengthy message to social media outlining from his point of view what went wrong between him and his parents, why he's speaking out, and how he plans to move forward in the aftermath. His statement kicked off with, "I have been silent for years and made every effort to keep these matters private. For my entire life, my parents have controlled narratives in the press about our family. Recently, I have seen with my own eyes the lengths that they'll go through to place countless lies in the media, mostly at the expense of innocent people, to preserve their own facade. But I believe the truth always comes out." Brooklyn then launched into his recollection of specific incidents in the past, including his 2022 nuptials with Nicola. As he noted, "My parents have been trying to endlessly ruin my relationship since before my wedding, and it hasn't stopped." According to him, as the couple planned to say "I do" in Palm Beach, Florida, Victoria suddenly said she wouldn't create Nicola's wedding dress in the 11th hour, despite how excited she was to wear her design, forcing her to urgently find a new dress. At the time, Nicola told Variety she went with Valentino Couture rather than a Victoria Beckham design because she realized that her atelier couldn't do it.
Brooklyn published a statement on his Instagram about what happened at his wedding and why he's stepping away from his family forever. And in this statement, Brooklyn revealed that for years, his parents have tried to control every aspect of his life. From the women he dated to his career and even the way he lived his life, all of it was carefully managed and controlled. Brooklyn never had any choice. And when he finally decided to date someone he liked, his parents fought back hard.
The Beckhams are completely media savvy. But that is a testament to their brilliance, and that shouldn't be seen as a negative. In America, that'd be seen as a positive. It's only in the UK that's seen as a possible negative. The Beckhams have built a phenomenal global brand.
Part of brand Beckham was her being this very serious, very sort of moody sort of...
I think that a lot of people think of me as a stuck-up miserable cow, probably.
In 2016, Victoria registers the name Brooklyn Beckham as an EU trademark.
If your name is globally famous like the Beckhams, yes, it is normal to, and sensible, I'd say, not just normal, sensible to trademark any way that name can be used. And clearly, if your name is Beckham and you're the children of the Beckham brand, at some point you're going to probably use your name, or may use your name, to advance your own career.
Having the brand name Brooklyn Beckham trademarked safeguards his name and also gives him business opportunities, but it is a very irregular commodification of a person. And it is saying, we see you as a person, but we also see you as a business opportunity.
The Beckhams always considered their kids as a business opportunity. And when they realized that they couldn't control Brooklyn anymore, they decided to try to take the Beckham name away. Brooklyn's mom, Victoria, was allegedly jealous of his wife, Nicola, and couldn't believe that someone could come between her and Brooklyn.
Brooklyn stated David and Victoria also tried to stop Nicola from being able to have the Beckham family name. He wrote, "Weeks before our big day, my parents repeatedly pressured and attempted to bribe me into signing away the rights to my name, which would have affected me, my wife, and our future children. They were adamant on me signing before my wedding date because then the terms of the deal would be initiated. My holdout affected the payday, and they have never treated me the same since." Another issue Brooklyn brought up was the bride and groom's decision to include their grandmothers at their table because they both didn't have their husbands. Though their parents each had their own tables equally adjacent to ours, Brooklyn wrote, "My mom went so far as to call me evil." And it's not as if the Beckham crew had been bending over backward to include Nicola, according to Brooklyn, who wrote, "The night before our wedding, members of my family told me that Nicola was not blood and not family." Even the big day itself wasn't free from drama, with Brooklyn sharing his side of the much-dissected wedding dance incident. Brooklyn explained, "My mom hijacked my first dance with my wife. Mark Anthony called me to the stage, where in the schedule was planned to be my romantic dance with my wife, but instead my mom was waiting to dance with me. She danced very inappropriately on me in front of everyone. I've never felt more uncomfortable or humiliated in my entire life."
Some people believe that Victoria actually became inappropriately close to Brooklyn after David cheated on her. Rumors of David Beckham's infidelity have Victoria actually opened up about her relationship and said that she actually had a lot of resentment with how Brooklyn
David and Victoria Beckham are getting honest about the cheating rumors that have haunted their marriage for years. In his new Netflix documentary, Beckham, David reflected on the harrowing time in his marriage. His wife also speaks out on the alleged infidelity and opens up about the pain she felt at the time.
Now, the one person at the wedding who saw it all go down is speaking up. DJ Fat Tony was hired to work at the wedding and was right next to the stage where it all went down. He saw exactly how Victoria and Brooklyn were acting with each other and how uncomfortable both Brooklyn and his wife looked. You could see it in their eyes that they didn't want to. Tony actually thinks that the real issue wasn't even the dance, but what it actually represented. Brooklyn's statement is the first time anyone from the Beckham family has been honest about what goes on behind closed doors. We've all heard the rumors for years about how David wasn't faithful and how he didn't really care about what went on. This statement was only the start, and Brooklyn is in fact getting ready to expose everything that went on inside his family. The lies, the rumors, the infidelity. Just last week, Brooklyn announced that he was writing a book where he was going to reveal everything. This book is what the Beckhams are scared of. It only takes one mistake to ruin a brand, and they believe Brooklyn's secrets might just be that mistake.
Let's start with David and Victoria Beckham. They are reportedly in crisis mode. Amid speculation, their eldest son Brooklyn is preparing to publish a tell-all biography exposing his allegedly greedy and self-obsessed parents. Beckham biographer Tom Bauer has written in the Daily Mail, Brooklyn might be a spoiled brat, but when it comes to sympathy, the 26-year-old wins hands down. If there were ever a victim of rapacious parents and a dysfunctional family, it's the Beckham's eldest son. Wow, Kinsey, this sounds appalling, and yet I can't look away.
And Tom Bauer always has his hands exactly where we want it, whether it's Harry and Meghan drama or the Beckhams. Tom Bauer is the guy. I don't doubt that growing up in the Beckham household came with pressure, but I have a hard time extending real sympathy to someone who has been handed every possible advantage. Brooklyn has had to work for very little, married into a billionaire family, and will never face genuine financial insecurity. At some point, we need to reserve our empathy for real world struggles, not extremely privileged adults who resent the very lives their parents built for them. I think David and Victoria understand the business, the stakes, and the long game. Brooklyn, frankly, is still figuring out who he is, and let's hope it's not a chef, okay?
Yeah. Or a photographer, because that photography book, that ain't a work of genius. But I have heard other commentators, people who are normally trusted.
The only reason any of this ever came out was that the Beckhams refused to change. Fat Tony revealed that this statement wasn't a surprise to him. He knew that Brooklyn had tried to talk to his parents before, but they weren't listening. He had to get the message out one way. Industry insiders revealed that the Beckhams are working on a response right now, but unlike Brooklyn, they aren't going to do it on Instagram. Right now, the Beckhams just want to get everything under control.
These accusations that Brooklyn has now put out publicly, they're so specific about the wedding dress being hijacked last minute, about his mother supposedly jumping in on his first dance and acting inappropriately. The fact that it is so specific from a PR perspective, does that make it harder to defend against, that it isn't something vague and general?
Well, it's certainly difficult when it is a family drama as opposed to two different parties. You know, it's certainly within the family. But proper damage control right now does not look like an Instagram statement. It's about containment. It is likely legal. It is NDAs. It's looking at contracts line by line. It is not going to be about dismantling the narrative that Brooklyn is putting out there. Victoria and David Beckham right now need to contain the brand, keep their collaboration safe and let everybody know that everything is fine, and be a little quiet at the moment. There should be a statement, but it shouldn't match their sons.
All right, guys, the Beckham family drama continues to escalate after firstborn son Brooklyn Beckham blasted his famous parents, David and Victoria, in a long and emotional Instagram message. Now, David is hitting back on those allegations. Watch.
They make mistakes. Children are allowed to make mistakes. That's how they learn. So that's what I try to teach my kids. But, you have to sometimes let them make those mistakes.
I don't know why I'm always shocked by that British accent. Okay, Caroline, you're obsessed with this. Tell us more.
Okay, so I don't like to see big families fracturing, especially famous ones. Although I'm a firm believer that when you marry your spouse, they become your family. The extended family comes second.
A lot of people saw this coming. Brooklyn actually held a vow renewal ceremony without his parents or family because of how uncomfortable he was at the wedding. Both Brooklyn and Nicola felt like the Beckhams had purposefully ruined the best day of their life, and they wanted to recreate the memory without them.
Nicola and Brooklyn pelts Beckham, bride and groom once again.
My gorgeous wife, she looks amazing tonight.
Brooklyn's truly like my best friend and also like the love of my life, so it's been nice.
So nice, they did it twice. Brooklyn and Nicola renewing their vows 3 years into wedded bliss.
She's the best and she's doing her thing and I'm so happy.
The intimate affair taking place at the Peltz family estate in New York. Nicola serving bridal elegance in wedding white, Brooklyn keeping it classic in a black tuxedo. The actress's family was all there to celebrate. And get this, Nicola's dad, billionaire investor Nelson Peltz, officiated the ceremony.
I have 7 siblings. So I think he loves being with my family and just being around so many boys. I think he has like built-in boy best friends now.
But what about Brooklyn's family? Well, David, Victoria, Romeo, Cruz, and Harper seemingly did not attend. Instead, enjoying a European vacay amid continuing rumors of a family rift.
Believe it or not, but some people actually hate Brooklyn for speaking out. They think he's ruining the Beckham brand, and he should just be grateful to his parents for the life they gave him. On the other hand, there are quite a few people who think Brooklyn doesn't owe his parents anything.
Brooklyn, in his case, this is just tainting the business brand, the Beckham family, and he's allowed to do that. However, I will say, Brooklyn Beckham has benefited from a huge amount of nepotism, which I know is an ugly word, but he would be nothing if not for his famous footballer dad and his posh Spice Girl mom. He wouldn't have his amateur cooking channel. He wouldn't have his modeling career. So I think a little bit more gratitude is due. There's been so many scandals of celebrity families where the parents are negligent or they're abusive to their children. That is not what's happening here. An overbearing, devouring mother, that's a common trope. Everyone has that experience, I think, with the mother-in-law. But to be a little bit over-invested in your children is not a crime. There's a difference between a helicopter parent and an abusive one.
A lot to unpack.
Okay, I'm done. That was everything right
there. This is devil's advocate. I mean, he would still have his looks, so maybe the modeling career could come. But here's the thing. Do you agree with Caroline? Is this the Yoko Ono of the Beckham family, or is it Brooklyn?
I think Brooklyn and Nicola are both complete spoiled brats. To turn on your parents publicly is a reflection of you and your character. And if I were Nicola, I'd be embarrassed by my husband who's acting like a little boy, a child, putting out this ridiculous statement. Also, by the way, one of the issues that he cites is that somehow Victoria Beckham pulled the rug out from underneath Nicola with a wedding dress at the 11th hour. But in Vogue, she talks about working with Valentino for an entire year on a custom gown that she wore down the aisle, including 2 trips to headquarters in Rome. So I think this is a bunch of baloney.
This public image that's very masterful, they're very likable, relatable, but it's not authentic. What do you say to that? I mean, I remember the whole Rebecca Lewis thing, the fact that David was sleeping with the nanny and Victoria just looked the other way and it wasn't an isolated incident. And then it makes you question the whole persona, the whole image they put out, whether there's anything real about it.
Yeah, I mean, Tom Bauer wrote a really great book about your point right there, about how so much of it is theater, so much of it is highly choreographed, and how hateful they could be towards each other in this pursuit for fame, celebrity, and money. But I'm obsessed with it. I can't not love them. I don't know. There's something that the ambition in them, I admire it. I admire the never complain, never explain. They continue to show up. I admire the commitment, Rita.
Brooklyn isn't the one destroying the Beckham brand. If anything, he's the first person brave enough to stop protecting it. For years, the Beckham image has been built on perfection and grateful children, but control and a family dynamic that prioritized branding over boundaries. In the same Netflix documentary, David and Victoria addressed the long-standing cheating allegations, but many felt the explanation raised more questions than answers.
The couple have previously denied the claims against David, but Victoria admitted in the 4-part series that back then she began to resent her husband.
If I'm being totally honest, yes, I did.
8-year-old pro didn't hold back when explaining how the bombshell reports impacted him.
There were some days that I would wake up and think, how am I going to go?
Keep in mind that David actually missed the birth of his son because he was out socializing with J.Lo. That's the kind of family this was. At the end of the day, this isn't about one dance or one statement. It's about years of control, crossed boundaries, and a family image that may have come at a real personal cost. Brooklyn speaking out didn't create this situation. It exposed it. And with his book on the way, this story is only just beginning.